Welcome to Amalgam Hour, the movie and comic podcast. I'm Robin.
I'm done.
Robin.
I'm done.
Today we're reviewing the film, The Legacy, that has been haunting everyone for what, about a year now? A year?
Too long.
18 years, my entire life? Maybe. Obviously, Spiderman No Way Home, biggest film of the century according to the internet. And a film that we went in to the film knowing half of it. So it was a real fun delight. But we'll definitely discuss that later. In today's review, we're obviously going to go act by act instead of character by character. Because there's a couple of characters that are very similar in a sort of multiversal way, if you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, major spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. I would say I put it up on screen, but I'm just lazy, so I won't.
Yeah.
You know. So let's first talk about like the consequences from the. Well, what was the other film called? I hate this Home trilogy. Far From Home. Stupid names. Great. Let's just get it out the way. This film is amazing. I'm going to go watch it again. Maybe one of my favourite films in the MCU and in just general. It beats...
I can agree with that.
I was going to say it beats Shrek 2. Don't know about that. We may have to do like a fun viewing party just to confirm.
Side-by-side comparison.
Exactly. Very similar, you know, in many ways. There's a lot of layers in both of these films. I don't know why I'm playing it so deadpan. So first of all, it's obviously the consequences from the last film. And I actually thought they did it quite well. It's one of the first times where it's like, oh no, consequences from previous film actually affects this one. Because it's the entire plot. It's the reason any of this happens.
Yeah.
And it's like...
The reason any of this happens is Peter Parker's a dumbass.
Yeah. But I did feel so bad for him. It's the first time I've probably felt emotion towards Tom Holland's character in any of these films.
His identity got revealed was when he dropped MJ on the roof.
Yeah.
And then I forgot MJ was there.
Yeah, he's like... And I love the pose she's in that moment, because it's the exact pose I would do, where it's just, freeze. Don't move a muscle. Because in any other film, she would be like following him, walking with him, trying to like find out what's wrong and stuff and try and help. And this was just, I cannot move. And then that scene where obviously he takes her home and then Happy and Aunt May having some weird relationship going on. And Happy has always been the butt of every joke. And it's still funny. It's still funny.
Yeah, I think from what I can remember, Happy didn't have boundaries.
No, not at all. And I love even the joke they use later, which is the Iron Man 3 Happy, where it's a photo of him with like the mullet and like everything. Even that's still great. And then they come in, and it's the most panic scene ever. And it's so good about how he's clearly trying to distract them from the conversation while doing the most sus thing ever. Like he's running around the room and he's just shutting everything. TV, no. I thought he was about to kick the TV, just smash it into a billion pieces. Like, no, stop it. And then obviously explained and stuff. But this is probably the most hectic first act or like the first 15 minutes of a film I've ever watched. That still makes complete sense.
Yeah, it kicks straight to height,
Yeah, just immediately. And then, like, I've noticed in this film a lot, there are not a lot of segues into other scenes. It just cuts. And it's like, no, you can guess the segue.
OG Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah.
It's just cut and things happen.
Yeah. But it's not even like any like panning shots of a building. It goes from Aunt May's apartment just straight to the police station. It's like, And then it's like, okay, we got to cut again. Go. And it just keeps going. And I'm like, And oh my god, I can't believe that was Daredevil's arm. Wow.
Really wasn't, but
no. And then the next scene is, and then it's just a shot of the table.
And then all you heard was him go.
Yeah, I went.
And one guy like, oh, that's Matt
Yeah. I almost swallowed my own tongue. Because it didn't even,
Just
like,
happened.
segue, you know? I thought it would have
It
done
was
something
over before I
sick.
could recover.
Exactly. I thought it was going to do something sick where it's like the floor and it pans up from, like,
Oh no.
you see all the feet and then you see the stick and it follows the stick up to the body and then to the face, you know, and then it pans
See
out
his
wide.
arm and then it pans to his face.
Yeah, it's just like boom, boom. There you go. Move on.
Do hear his voice before his face.
Yeah, but it's like, no offense to Charlie Cox, I wouldn't be able to tell without the face.
I reckon he spoke and then he just quickly panned and like, yeah.
Yeah, just like, man, red glasses, that's Chad Cox. I know that man. I seen him. I seen it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
given solid advice, and then boom, brick. And it was probably the biggest laugh I got where he goes, I'm just a really good lawyer. Like, I'm just good. Because obviously Spider-Man was there to catch it. Like, it's like his hand came up, grabbed it, and Spider-Man's was right behind, almost holding hands on this brick. It's just like, how did you... And Aunt May does not care. She's like, Peter. It's like, we all just seen him grab a brick out mid-air, and he's a blind man. And he didn't see it coming. And he's faster than Spider-Man. No one gonna question it? Okay, next scene. Goodbye, Charlie Cox. See you in She-Hulk. Goodbye. Just running.
See you in the near future.
Exactly. I'll see you fight Kingpin eventually when he gets away from the Hawkeye show.
Oh, you finally see that.
I finally watched the episode and I was like, oh my god, look at that blurry picture. I know that man. I know that physique.
Yeah.
I know that
You look
white.
at the credits and it's Vincent D'Onofrio, but
Yeah.
we're not talking about that. We'll carry on.
Yeah, exactly.
next time,
That's for the
next time.
Hawkeye review coming in whenever. And then, yeah, I can't even remember what the next scene is. I can't fathom it. It's probably them discussing uni or college, as
Yeah, I think
Americans
it's them
call it.
talking about college because that's what he's telling him that your problem is dropped.
Yeah, but I was like,
He deals with all their problems off screen.
yeah. Yeah. And it's just like,
But I didn't care.
I didn't
because I saw
care
Charlie Cox.
at all. I was like, yeah, it's all dropped. There, done. Next scene. I'm like, good.
About a year, I might be like, wait, really?
Yeah.
But because
Oh.
I saw Charlie Cox back, I
Yeah.
didn't care.
On my 18th viewing, then I'll like criticize this. His next scene, uni or the college, do not care. Don't
Yeah.
give a crap about. But it does set up a good motivation later on for why he's on that bridge, for
Sets
one.
it, yeah.
And then for why he doesn't... Because let's just quickly go to the end. Why he doesn't reintroduce himself at the end. Because it's like, you don't need to know about all this crap all over again. Just go enjoy college. You know? Like that sort of thing. And I was like, bravo. Perfect. Well done. And then it's just like, okay, bridge, boom. Flash Thompson, you little shit out. Punch me in the face. You're not my Flash Thompson. Eat shit.
So this is the most we've ever seen in Flash Thompson for an entire trilogy.
I know. But
The
you're...
other one just gets the first, 10 minutes of the first movie and then goodbye.
Yeah, but you're not Joe Magnolella, so I don't care.
Or whoever that guy from Andrew Garfield's movie
Yeah,
was.
Buzzcut guy. You're not him either. Get in the bin. You're like a real life bully,
Yeah.
and that's like too... That's too real.
Too real. That's flashback.
Exactly. And then obviously the bridge, and then you get Hello Peter, and it plays out exactly as you
We
expect
skipped
it's
an
going to be.
entire vital scene.
What scene now?
Doctor Strange one.
Oh, I
The
don't
whole reason
care.
everything's happening.
You've seen it in the trailer. It plays out the exact same way. The exact.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Just breaks the spell 6 times.
yeah. But I
Or
appreciate
however
that
many times.
Doctor Strange keeps trying for ages. He's like, okay. Because I thought it was going to be, he keeps saying it. Doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And then that messes it up. But he's like, okay, let's do it again. He's like, okay, let's do it again.
That's what messes it up.
Yeah. And then they have a fun trip.
Yeah.
Whatever. No one cares. Bridge scene.
Like, oh my god, you came to me before calling them.
I know. Which, to be fair,
if you knew a magic man who could alter reality to get you into college,
I would prefer to go to him than make a phone call, not gonna lie.
yeah.
You know?
The
Oh,
reaction of, wait, I can do that.
exactly.
That was the most outraged
Exactly.
type person.
As someone who's currently applying for uni, yeah, that was realistic, not gonna lie.
Wait, I can do that.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, bridge scene plays out exactly you as expect it until he
Yeah.
takes the nanotech And everyone's like, oh my god, he's going to be super powerful. And then Peter just goes, no, you don't work anymore. No, you just don't. And Alfred Molina just being like, just crying.
He tries punching him and everything.
Oh yeah, on the bridge scene where he's just swinging like he's fighting Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. But it's just like, And that was funny. And that was the first time where like physical humor in one of these Spider-Man films has worked really well. Because it's silly, but it's like it makes sense in the world, in everything. And I'm like, bravo, bravo, bravo. And then obviously it's go to Doctor Strange. And Doctor Strange's like, oh my god, everyone who know your identity coming in this universe, go get the fuckers. And Liz is in the background like,
really know his identity though.
No, not really.
Really?
Not really.
So even at the end of the film, he takes his mask off and he's like, I thought you'd be black.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I just think that was an excuse to just get him here. You know? It could have just been
a villain from every film and doing a second Green Goblin.
Yeah. Like,
Could have been.
we'll talk about that later with the other villains. Actually, we can talk about it right now. Sandman and Electro. Next scene.
Point.
Yeah, next scene. I don't care that they bring in Ned and Zendaya. That's her character. And then...
Don't really do anything.
Don't care about that. Don't care. Let's get to Sandman.
Not
being like...
until the end.
Yeah. And that was a good introduction of Electro just filming in the background like he's trying to be Dr. Manhattan. Like, what are you doing? Son of a bitch.
See him be slightly blue and then just turn into normal James Fox.
Which I'm like, and then he was like, oh, this energy's different. I was like, okay, you played that off. Let's carry on.
Oh, well done.
And that's
Sandman, just mud.
And that's his entire motivation throughout the entire film. This energy. And then I love how
I'm not blue anymore.
I love how he's barely a villain. Like, yes, he's a villain. But then he has the motivation to where he just wants energy, man. Like, he just wants to stay in this universe. And he's just like, I want to stay in the MCU. I feel like this is the actor.
He says no.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the actor being like, hey, can I be here now? Would that be alright? And he's like, no, goodbye to your universe, bitch. But then, I've never felt more happiness than when the sand was coming up and then it just formed a shield and goes, Spider-Man! And it's the same. It's how everyone sounds exactly how they sounded in the past films. Except from Lizard, but shut up.
Yeah, it's the same actor, but...
It's the same actor,
but...
remembers
that film.
Yeah, it was the same actor, and now...
I hear a slight Welsh tang.
Exactly.
Voice.
Makes me incredibly happy. But then, yeah, because we obviously got Smart Lizard in the other film, but this is like extra Smart Lizard, where it sounds exactly like the actor, and it's like, I can just do everything he can.
Yeah, because when he changed to Lizard in the other ones, they altered his voice a bit, and I don't think they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes, and then at the end of this film, he's just an animal. And it's like, no, Smart Lizard, got. But yeah,
but to be fair, he's fighting for his life.
Yeah, and then Sandman and Spider-Man teaming up, I've never felt so much joy. You know? I was like,
and he immediately like, I don't trust you.
Yeah, and when he films that fish, he's like, did you just kill him? I'm like, Sandman, no, you're my favourite character. Just,
To be fair, you would think that. And then considering the fact that weapon's now being turned on you.
Yeah, you'd be like, Because, yeah, you would. But then I love when they back in the place, and then it's like Alfred Molina being like, "You seen Green Goblin? That man, dead. That man, hella dead." And then Sandman's like, "Yo, you dead too, bitch. I'm from the same universe, but in the future, so I know." And then Electro does it.
Sat there like, "Wait, Max, do I die too?" And he doesn't answer his question.
Yeah, he's like, I don't really care.
His whole motivation could have been solved if he was just like, yeah, you don't die.
And I love them realizing where it's like, no, the last thing I remember was Spider-Man taking my machine, and then I...
Yeah, the point they get taken from is the point where they have Spider-Man dead to rights.
which is like kind of fun, you know? Where it's kind of like maybe the...
So, for what I can tell, Green Goblin got taken for when he was about to stab Spider-Man in the back.
Yeah. And it's like...
Just before he got turned back to normal.
And that could have been the excuse. That could have been the excuse where it's like, it was the moment in their lives where Spider-Man was the most strongest or most like weakest to them, or the idea was in their brain. Doesn't matter.
I want to know, yeah. Electro, he gets sent back with no powers, right?
Yeah,
The
everyone
moment
does.
he gets taken from is when he was drawing all that electricity, and it's all directed right at him.
Well, I'm assuming it'll
He
just.
just come back in the middle of all that.
Well, it's like electricity can dissipate in the air, so he could just drop and then.
Or
Well,
does he just come back and fall 27,000?
yeah, but it's like Spider-Man's Spidey sense going to go off. He's going to catch him and then be like, "You go in prison."
No, you saw the end of that movie. He can't catch nobody.
Yeah, but this is like a 20-foot drop from someone who's in a straight line to you, and it's not your
I
love
reckon he's
interest,
dead.
so you'll definitely be able to
Green
get him.
Goblin's gonna come back at a moment. His glider's coming straight at him.
Yeah. We need to talk about that at the very end, so hush your guns. Talk about this scene.
Okay.
And I can't remember what we're talking about. Doesn't matter.
The
Next
when
scene.
they all get captured.
Yeah, like it was a fun scene to
And
see them
Green
all
Goblin's like,
interact.
I'm something of a scientist myself.
Oh, no, that's later. We haven't got to that bit yet.
That's
Silly
in that
goose.
scene.
No, it's not. They bring back Sandman
Oh, no,
and
it's
Electro
okay.
first, and then see,
Yeah.
you're getting ahead of yourself.
When Osborn.
Exactly.
When Osborn is not Green Goblin yet.
And then that scene where it's just like Green Goblin in the alleyway just going, no! And then he just shin kicks the fucking mask into oblivion. And then it's just like, one of those people you're meant to capture is here. And he just walks in and it's just Willem Dafoe.
He's just having a good
I know, but he's wearing green and purple, so you know.
Yeah,
and,
that's all I know. It's not Willem Dafoe. It's Norman Osborn.
And then he steals 1,002 donuts. And then he gets taken. And I love how... I do really like the motivation of Aunt May just being like, help him. Maybe. You know? Maybe just do that.
I think seeing him come back, because I think they used the split like personality thing with Norman Osborn and Green Goblin really well.
Yeah.
Because like, Peter Parker's whole motivation has come from when he saw him.
Yeah.
Normal person.
And that's the thing. If it was anyone else who was introduced to Aunt May, like if it was Doc Ock or Lizard or Sandman or Jamie Foxx, you know,
Aunt May would straight to defense.
Exactly. But because it's this poor man, it's like okay. And then I love how as soon as they get to the Doctor Strange thing, just takes it and just straight into a bubble you go. He's like, Peter.
He's like, oh, you got the last one.
Yeah, good. Let's take them all back. And then I love just the shots of all of their faces
across the country, like
yeah, about to disappear. I love all the shots of everyone's faces where it's like, what's Spider-Man gonna do? And then he's like, I'm sorry. Boom! And he's just like, run! Go!
It was a good fight then.
Yeah, it was very fun. And the only thing I hate, it's such a cliche where it's like, because this person is a genius, they're in a scenario where their genius ability will help them out. Even though it makes no sense. He goes like, MC squared! And because he knows that,
he's like, oh, I know geometry. This is just geometry.
It's like, shut the fuck up.
Every time Doctor Strange has been like, I can use the mirror dimension, I'm in control, he gets his ass beat.
Yeah, but it's the first time where
using it.
Where when he takes someone into the mirror dimension, it's not people just falling all over the place. Because Spider-Man's like, no, we just carry on going. And it's just like, at one point the world's about to collapse in on him, and he just jumps out the way because he's got that power. And I'm like, that's fun.
Oh, what about the bit where he hits him with like the projection or whatever, his astral projection comes out and he just can't grab the box.
Yeah, that is so funny. It's such a good use of the Spidey sense. Where it's like, because, and I see it as, because Peter Parker's not in there, it's like animal instinct working, you know? Because usually there'd be no brain in there at all.
Spidey sense didn't work.
Exactly, but that's the thing. I like to think it's like Peter Parker's bullshit is what blocks the Spidey sense sometimes. So if you took him out of the situation, he's just unstoppable. He's just, no, how are you doing this? And Peter Parker just being like, just swimming. Just, I'll get to it eventually. And then I love how he just traps him in the dimension, like, sorry, see ya. See ya, bitch. Great scene. Yeah, great scene. And then he goes to the thing. I love how he persuades them all. You know? He's like, let's just all go to an apartment. Okay with everyone? And the only person who's not happy about it, like Lizard comes, Sandman comes, Jamie Foxx comes, and Alfred Molina's like, no, I don't want to go. It's like, well,
so at this point, he's sort of being controlled.
yeah, and it's like, well, you don't have a fucking choice. And then the legs just walk.
He's
He's
the
like,
only
fuck.
one who's captured.
Yeah. And then I love the security camera shot of just everyone passing. There's lizards in the van. Like, fuck that. Fuck bringing that in.
Took got king shocked.
Exactly. Good. He belongs over there. Lizard's
CG
scary.
we need to lower our CG budget a minute, okay?
Yeah. So that's why we didn't bring in the actor for Sandman, and he's just replaced by mud. You know? And they didn't even give an explanation.
That
like,
was never explained.
it could have been explained where it's like, in this universe, he can't take his normal form while using his power. You know?
So
something like that.
He made character who's completely electricity look normal. They made the character who looked normal completely mud.
Yeah. Genius. Everyone, great idea. Still a great character,
well
though.
done. Yeah.
And I love Green Goblin and Spider-Man working together to, like, cure everyone. And then that shot where it's, like, Alfred Molina's neck. I love how he's just holding onto his hair. Like, he's his bitch. He's like, just stay still. Puts it on. And then it's just sleep, wake up, and then he's immediately sorrowful. He's like, oh my god, there's no noise. Oh my god, Green Goblin. And he almost, like, if he was able to move, he would hug him so fast. You know?
Just run over. The first time he's been
exactly
in control.
Yeah, and it's definitely like that man would go and write some poetry if he could, because we all know how much he loves poetry. He's clearly in his full emotions now, and it's just like, and I can't remember if I'm making this idea up, but doesn't he like shout at the tentacles at one point, or am I just making that up? Because I felt like at one point he told the tentacles to just fuck off. He's like, no, stop this bullshit. You listen to me.
Was it Spider-Man 2?
Oh, well. And then that scene of just like Electro, because like I said, he's not a villain, because he's like, I could help people, I could like be something. And then he's like, ooh, this doesn't feel great losing my powers. Ooh, it's going to get.
Yeah, you can see the thing going at that timer.
Bro,
like
that
how
is
long they have until thing hits the fan.
That is the most tense scene I've seen in any MCU film. Because you have obviously Aunt May in the room.
That intense since that pig was stopped from breathing.
You have Aunt May in the room, so it's like unpowered witness. Then you've got Green Goblin, where I definitely got evil vibes when he didn't turn around to speak in an earlier scene.
I was watching the whole scene like he could snap at any moment.
Exactly. And then you've got the bit where I love the shot of Peter Parker's Spidey sense going off, but he doesn't know where it is. So he's just wandering.
He's surrounded by anybody who
exactly. And his body...
It might not even be any of them. It could be from outside.
Exactly. And his body's just slowly focusing in on it until he does the same thing he did in was it Far From Home? Yeah. Where he grabs the arm and he's like, no, you fucking don't. No, you don't. And it's like Green Goblin.
Looking around and like this is when Electro's like getting stressed.
Yeah, exactly. So it's... So you got Peter Parker's thing, you've got the Green Goblin thing, you've got that being like a literal ticking time bomb, and it's all heightening until Green Goblin says one speech, and everyone's like, you got a good point. And there's just... And it's the most beat down I've ever seen a character in an MCU film. You cannot say...
I think it started off with Doc Ock just getting blasted out of the building.
Yeah, because it's like, you're the only one...
in this situation.
Exactly, you're the only one who would help him right now. Goodbye. And it's just Electro... I realised is the most powerful out of that group. And they don't nerf him at all. Because he hits fucking hard in this film when he does. You know? Like in that end scene and when he first arrives, he's firing lightning at you. You know? Which I'm glad, because I didn't feel like anyone was nerfed in this film.
Yeah.
The only part I felt was a little bit was when Green Goblin cut off one of Doc Ock's arms. That was the only bit where I was like, I don't think he can do that. You know?
But it's fine because it was Willem Dafoe.
I think it would have worked better if it was like stabbed into the arm and then the arm like freaks out and like turns off. Do you know what I mean? But not cut off. Like
it does have like some weird like swords things that can cut through metal. So
I guess.
I guess it does make sense.
I was Oh, we'll talk about this later. We'll talk about that later. Let's get back to this scene. The most beat down any character's ever been in any film. Or not any film, like, ever, but the MCU. Because he is shreked. His ribs are broke. And he gets thrown through walls like there's no tomorrow.
Oh, the bit though when he's finally got him pinned down and he's just repeatedly punching him.
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
just laughing.
Punching Green Goblin in the face. And he's just smiling up at him. And then obviously he gets hit away.
That was full Joker.
Exactly. He get hit away and then it's just like,
Goblin.
Finally, I'm away from Green Goblin. Oh, now the lizard's shrekking me. He just gets thrown outside and then thrown back in.
Is that a dinosaur?
Yeah. He doesn't even say that. That's in the trailer. We haven't even talked about J. Jonah Jameson. We don't really need to. He's very similar to the past film. I don't think with as much authenticity and like as funny as the Sam Raimi trilogy. But it's okay.
I think he'll be more than next.
Yeah, and he works. Yeah, he works as more of a plot point than a character in this. But that is okay.
Start of the film.
Yeah, with these thousands of characters, it's okay to have one of them be purely there for like pushing the story forward because he's a jackass. And then that scene's horrific. And then obviously you get Aunt May saying the line. And she doesn't say it wrong, by the way. She says it how the comic says it.
I know.
So it's your dirty fault.
Wrong.
So everyone said it wrong. At least it's not like Amazing Spider-Man. I did not cry then. But I did. That was like, this film is what made me feel for Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
When the glider was coming down, I was waiting for it. Norman Osborn to say "Godspeed, Spider-Man."
Yeah. Godspeed, Spider-Man. But then it's like,
but she got hit.
When she got hit away, I was like, bet she's dying. And then they tried to and it's so good where she tries to carry on
bomb.
like there's nothing, and then the bomb as well, and Peter Parker gets wrecked. But then after that, when she tries to act like it's nothing,
if she survived that, it would have been.
But then it's like the bomb didn't hit her.
Anybody was ever in danger.
But then the bit after, as I'm trying to say, when she's walking, oh my god! And then all of a sudden her body just stops, and then she's like, oh, never mind. And then she lays down and she acts like everything's fine, and you just see Tom Holland actually act, and I'm like, wow, you're pretty good.
Yo.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And happy just being in the car and being like, no, you fucking don't. And then he just leaves her as well. That's the bit where I'm like, oh.
Well, he kind of getting shot.
He wasn't getting shot at. They had guns pointed at him.
He literally got shot.
No, he didn't.
He did. He got hit in the shoulder. Tactic in his iron spoiler suit, but he got hit.
Nah, I think you're lying. But oh yeah, and by the way,
got shot.
In the earlier scene, he also gets his new suit, like the golden one, and I'm like, that's a smart way of doing it. Where it's like he doesn't have the full Iron Spider suit.
Gives it back to him, and Tom Holland's like, wait, wrong suit.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. This is my new suit now. Perfect.
The black and gold suit was a waste of space.
Yeah, it's there for like 10 minutes. But it does look good.
There to stab another toy.
Yeah, but it does look good. Like, I can't... And they use Tom Holland's brother in that scene. They don't even show who does it. It's a 1 second clip.
I've seen the interview beforehand with Tom Holland saying his brother was so happy to be in it and he wants the final thing and it got cut.
Yeah.
And you can't cut that, but then also have it be a big plot point.
Yeah. Just
if you blinked, you wouldn't have seen the suit get covered in green paint and then been so confused.
Exactly. But then we'll talk about suits at the end. Don't worry. Don't worry about that. So what's the next scene? And then, Ned.
Yeah, I made that.
Yeah, and then Ned and Zendaya in Ned's house.
You should just say MJ, but...
No, I will call her Zendaya.
She's technically a Watson now.
Yes, she is a Watson. I love people being like, no, she's not MJ. There could be another MJ. I was like, no, her name is Watson.
No, Watson. Just made it Michelle Jones, but it doesn't really matter if they keep calling her MJ.
Yeah. So Zendaya, trying to do the magic, which is it starts off as a joke, thinks he can do magic, actually does magic.
I can do it.
And then it's the bit where the entire cinema went in a fucking uproar.
Entire air got sucked out
Yeah.
first.
It was just portal, and then obviously he's just there, and I realised...
You could see the moment when he stepped through, everybody breathed in,
Yeah.
like, oh my god, and then it wasn't until the mask came off.
Yeah. Well, it's
I
like...
could see everyone was like, it's him, but I'm too worried because that might be Tom Holland.
Yeah. Well, I realised as soon as he didn't come straight away, as soon as he didn't run for the portal, he just turned and then jogged over. And as soon as he jumped through, I was like, I know that fucking suit. That's my favourite suit. I've seen it. I've seen him with my eyes. I know it. And he's just like, hey. And that scene's funny as hell. Him persuading them is great.
He
And
was like climbing on the roof. And
yeah, and he immediately becomes Spider-Man again. Andrew Garfield is a great actor. He's great.
yeah,
And then...
best actor of the three. In their own
Yeah.
films,
Yeah, I'd say that as
This,
well.
I think they're all equal to each other.
Yeah,
Their own films, he's the best one.
yeah. Like,
Acting-wise.
I'll cry in the deleted scene from Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, when his dad's back. You know? Like, I'll cry during that. I don't care about that film. And then obviously they're like, okay, let's find Spider-Man. And then it's just...
When they were like, we'll try again, I'm like...
that was the moment we were all like, okay, let's go.
Okay, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
I've already dug myself a
Just
hole.
happens.
Let's carry on. And then it's just like a church pastor just comes out. It's just like, hey, here you go.
Yeah.
And I love that shot of them looking at each other, going, and then immediately doing the same moves. It's like, no, we're the same.
They
I'm
just
like,
shoot webs
"Gee."
at each other and then dodge them all and then...
You know what I realized they could have done though? They could have done the pointing meme, where it's like, you. And then you just get the exact same shot, and it'd be like, okay, there you go. That's
Biggest
cool.
opportunities he didn't walk through and say, everyone.
Yeah, it's all right.
To beat an old lady with a stick to get this.
Yeah. I love how, because then they were later like, are you just gonna fight them looking like that? And I'm like, nah, he's got his suit underneath. I already
He like
know.
pulls it down.
Yeah, and I'm like, yes, genius.
I'm like, you're waiting to do like a reveal on that
No,
suit again.
Exactly. Yeah. That was probably one of my main problems with this film, that nothing had time to just stand there or pause in time and look. That's one of my main problems with the end fight.
Saw both like 30 suits at the end of the fight.
Yeah. And then, obviously, you get the scene of them. And I love how, first of all, it's not the Spider-Man get introduced. It's Ned and Zendaya just run up to him and give him a hug. And then all of a sudden, Spidey sense, it's like, boom, who's over there?
Yeah, they're like, there's some other people.
Yeah, and it's so clearly two Spider-Men jumping down. He's like, oh. And then I love that bit where he's like, no.
They're like,
Yeah, go on.
they're like, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire fight. I have a little argument like, I'm Empire State is better, so I'm this building. Because the Tom Holland just started school.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, we know. We know how Spider-Man brain works. But that bit where it's like, because in so many films, it's like, it's okay, I know exactly what you feel like. No, you don't know what I feel like. But it's like, they both do.
He does.
Like, 100%, they both do.
Andrew Garfield definitely does more.
Well, I'd say Andrew Garfield didn't, like, obviously was sad
like,
at the Uncle Ben thing, but it's the Gwen Stacy thing. But in the Sam Raimi films, Uncle Ben meant so much more. So I think they both understand perfectly. But it's kind of fun, because like Tom Holland it happened today. Andrew Garfield, it was like...
a while.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield was like, it could be a couple of months, couple of weeks, you know? But he's like,
Tobey Maguire is like a solid 10, 15 years ago.
Exactly, but it's 3 different ways of showing it. Where it's like, he's still in the moment, or Tom Holland's in the moment, Andrew Garfield is leaving the moment, Tobey Maguire is out of the moment. Do you get what I mean?
I think the Andrew Garfield, he's sort of just covered from it because he talks about...
Yeah, and then obviously...
Like stopping to pull his punches.
Yeah, which that's interesting, and I want to see that, yeah. Just angry Andrew Garfield
see that
punching
shot
someone.
afterwards where he just decapitates the rhino.
Yeah, you know he's pissed at that Russian. And then that scene is great. It is perfect. And then them in the lab as well, coming up with the whole plan I'm like, oh, look at these boys. They're such beautiful boys.
I
All
like
of them.
Andrew Garfield doesn't take the suit off. He just
No.
sit in the suit the whole film.
Yeah, that was
Just
Andrew
puts a coat
Garfield.
over it.
That wasn't the
He's taking
character.
that off.
He wanted it. He wanted that suit.
He's still wearing it to this
Yeah,
day.
he left the set in that suit, and it looks so good though with the lab coat over it. I'm like, oh, you little science boy! Look at you! Look at you!
And when there's like, okay, Peter, and then they all look.
Yeah, and it's just like, which Peter Parker, which Spider-Man, which like, ah. Stop just saying the same bullshit.
I think it didn't work because of Ned. It worked because of Tom Holland, like three of them.
All of them just, and like I haven't watched
their game, all three of them.
anything that has Tobey Maguire in it. So for me, he's still Peter Parker, and he's immediately back in. Because I literally turned to you as soon as he arrived, and I went, "Oh my god, he's so dorky," because he's the exact same, and they're all beautiful now. Because now I like Tom Holland. This film made me like Tom Holland's Peter Parker, and I'm very thankful for it. You know, it was almost like
bloody time.
Yeah, it was almost like
I now see what they were saying when they're like we're playing the long game.
Yeah, and it's like
his trilogy is leading up to his Uncle Ben moment.
Yeah, and it was so nice. Where it's like I almost seen Tobey Maguire as like a sort of father figure role, and then Andrew was almost like a brother. You know, where they all worked off of each other, and it was a nice little dynamic, and it was fun. And then they were like, my best friend turned into villain, and Ned Leeds was like, ah, and I was like, ah, I read a comic. I know what you become, you son of a bitch.
I don't think he's it for long, but he definitely comes in.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, I want him to be Hobgoblin now so badly. I'm like, you set it up perfectly. He knows magic.
I don't remember him anymore.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That could be the whole motivation. I could have led another life, or there were parts of my life that I'm missing out on, or this, that, and the other. And then he's goblin. And then there's like some part of his mind that is...
Ned would be the most affected by that change.
Exactly, yeah. Because Ned knew him for ages. And then it could be a thing where it's like, my brain is affected by those memories, and I have a memory of a weird goblin dude, and then obviously he could be Hobgoblin or Demogoblin, because he is like, if he ever got his hands on like a magical item, it could like call to him, because obviously he can fucking use magic now. And then he could be like, and there was a guy with a really scary like reptile face puts on like a Hobgoblin mask or Demogoblin style mask, you know.
I guess inspired by the lizard and Green Goblin.
Exactly, and it could be like pieces from all of them. You know, he could get like like a lightning sword or something, because in some comics he has a flaming sword. It could be like electric. Oh, it could be so cool. He best become. We'll talk about that later. And then they made the plan. They made all the serums and the potions and the tech and everything. And then Statue of Liberty. Boom, boom, boom. And I don't think it was the best shot action scene in any MCU film. Because a lot of the times...
It worked better because we were all just so happy to see everybody
Yeah,
back.
we were all hyper, but like, a critique of this film is the action can be a little incomprehensible at times.
Definitely moments in that fight when I was like, that was good.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and this is the thing I've been wanting for an MCU film for so long. A team of villains to go up against another team that all have unique personalities, all different powers, and they work effectively, and you need actual teamwork to beat them, not just quirky one-liners and punching in nameless hordes.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god.
Holland, like, I've worked in a team.
It's exactly. And then they make the whole plan.
Oh my god. Like.
Yeah, and they all work perfectly as well. Like, both in that scene, action-wise, and then the quips. And then, I can't remember what he said, but Andrew Garfield said something, like a quip, and I was like, oh my god, that's a quip. I was like, yes, yes, good quips. Yay, I love a good quip. Yes. It was all great. The shot of like Toby leading Sandman into the Statue of Liberty and then getting stuck. That is such a Sam Raimi moment. I love it. And then the hand up, grabbing the thing, stabbing it. It's like, oh, teamwork. Spider-Verse. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
I like
yes,
at the
yes.
start when it's like these, like Toby and Andrew have never worked in a team and they accidentally start shooting each other with their webs.
Yeah, that would happen. Oh, oh, it is a great, like, that's the only thing. If it was more better shot, I think it would be a great action scene. Because for a while, it's just Lizard, which is perfect. Lizard, Electro, Sandman. 3 against 3. It's great.
And I
Still,
like they team up. It's like when they realize they gotta work together, make a plan, go one on one.
yeah. Which is like, that's a genius plan. All 3 of you could probably take him out, you know? But it's like, because that's what's good about it. Never in the old films, like Sandman was always stronger than Spider-Man, Electro was always stronger than Spider-Man, and Lizard was always stronger than Spider-Man until the climax, you know? So it makes sense that they would have difficulty and they couldn't just one-punch these guys. And it's just like, they play up the like whole Norman Osborn being hench. Because he goes one-on-one with Tom Holland.
Because, yeah, he is strong.
Yeah, and I always forget that, because he just looks like a business dude. In a suit.
He's the Spider-Man universe's equivalent of a super soldier.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. But it was good. And then all of a sudden, Green Goblin's got to come out of nowhere and ruin everyone's plans.
Yeah. But that was a good end. That fight between those two was the best.
Yeah.
Fight, I think.
And it's just
the one in the building.
Yeah. And obviously, Alfred Molina turns up halfway through and he's like, everyone, it's like, stop fighting. And you're like, whose side is he on? And then he puts he just rams the thing into Electro, takes away his powers, he lands Electro, and then he just goes, oh, well. He's not like, boo! And like, Sandman's like, oh, thank you. Lizard's like, ah. Electro's just like, eh.
I wish when they had the moments like Tobey Maguire speaks to Doc Ock, and then Andrew Garfield speaks to Electro. I wish it was Andrew Garfield speaking to the Lizard.
Yeah,
they
I
had
guess,
more of a personal relationship in that film.
Yeah, and also that, like, they didn't say any lines after they were cured. Like, Lizard, I feel like, would be pissed if he was cured, because he doesn't have an arm. Like, even a shot of him looking
in the film, in the Amazing Spider-Man film, the first one, he's more, like, chill about it at the end. I think he gets mentally corrupted by the serum he uses, like similar to Green Goblin.
I'm just like, I guess, but at least like give him a shot of looking at his arm and just being sad for a second, you know, something.
Transforming shot has got to be ripped straight out of the Amazing Spider-Man film.
Yeah, same with a lot of the shots of
way too similar.
Real.
Just change the background.
Sandman, yeah, and then Green Goblin out of nowhere. And he's just like, he rocks up like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Bats everyone away. Until, and I don't even know, obviously he then goes to kill Zendaya.
Yeah, he rocks up. Zendaya falls off the building, and then I think that's when he majorly rocks up, when he swipes Tom Holland away.
And he swipes him away, and then it's just Andrew Garfield catching him. And Zendaya's barely fazed by it. And he's just crying. And it was the moment where I was just like, aww. I was just like, that's sad.
She doesn't know what this means to him.
Yeah, but I was like, that's sad. I was like, oh.
You know, from his perspective, he sees Gwen there.
Yeah. But it's just like so good because they talk about all their relationships with the girlfriends they've had. Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane, Zendaya. So clearly they all feel that link between them. And it's just like, oh, it's perfect. And then it's just fucking Tom Holland punching Willem Dafoe in the face for 10 minutes on a frisbee.
He goes to stab him with his own glider.
Bro, and also he suplexes him in that move, in that scene. He does like a WWE like slam on the fucking metal. It's like his face is shattered. And he just goes to stab him. And I don't know if you realise this, but I made a noise when Toby grabbed it because it reminded me of so many shots from the Sam Raimi. Like when Harry Osborn jumps in front
I
of the
just dived in front of it. Yeah.
yeah, and it looked just like that shot, and so many shots of him grabbing the glider. But obviously, in his films, it was always Norman on that glider, and Tom Holland sold the hell out of him wanting to kill
I'm
Norman.
glad there was no words said between them though. He just looked at him because
Yeah,
they'd already had that
and it's
conversation
just like,
earlier.
yeah, it was like, we can fucking relax now.
Like he just looked
Don't
at him
worry.
like to remind him about what was
Yeah.
said earlier.
And it's just like, because if he didn't get in the way, you would have been stabbed. And then it's just like, Toby gets stabbed instead. And then Tom Holland's just like, no, fuck you. Boom! And just cures him. So exactly. Dipshit. And then they immediately all get sent to the other, like, realities. It's like,
Tom McGuire's like, it's fine, I've been stabbed before.
yeah. It's like, it's all good. And then it's a little goodbye. There's a little goodbye.
There's a nice hug between them all.
Yeah, good. And then obviously it's like Doctor Strange comes back earlier in the scene. And he's like, congrats for like getting at least a couple of them. And then he's like, oh, reality's tearing, don't mind me, just hold it together. And in that shot is like Rhino and Scorpion and Kraven. I can't wait for that film to come out just so I can pause it at that scene and point out all of them. You know?
See Jared Leto.
Morbius! Oh my god, Joker! No. And then the choice is so sad of making everyone forget. And it's just like...
I like the moment, the brief moment that him and Doctor Strange had.
Yeah, where it's just like... Because they had... Doctor Strange went through an entire character arc in this. To being like, we're friends because we work together. I don't, like... We're still...
Hate you, look what you've done.
Exactly, and then it's to, okay, we're actually good friends. And I'm really sorry about this. Wipes everyone. And it's just like...
Yeah, because I like how he knows it's an option, but he wipes it out as an option.
Yeah. And then it's just like, they cry, and I cried, and I cried 3 times in this film. I can't remember when
it would have been better
or why.
if Zendaya's memory was wiped out mid-kiss with Tom Holland.
Yeah, and it's just like, I was thinking the entire time, how were they going to play this scene? And then he just whips away. He's like, nope, ain't going to deal with it. No, thank you. And then, obviously, it's the scene with the bakery, and then Happy. That's just strong emotional stuff that is good in this film. That is all good. And that no one remembers him.
The biggest missed opportunity at the end.
What?
Guy asking for rent and not being missed.
I know. Give me rent. You should have said it like that. And then, obviously, it's the sexiest suit ever. That's the problem. It didn't stop moving. So we don't know actually what it looks like.
They gave us a final swing.
Yeah.
Finally.
I know. Like every other film
because
did.
you can see that suit is clean.
Yeah.
You can see he's been inspired by the other two.
Yeah.
Suit making.
That would be fun, like,
and you know it's going to be the suit for the next one.
Because he is black and red all the time. And then the other two are blue and red. Yeah. And we can finally have, like, comic accurate. No Iron Jr. No Ned. No bullshit.
This is coming of age story.
Exactly.
This trilogy.
Which is so fun to think about. This is his origin. Like, everything he's been to up until now. Yeah.
You could maybe skip the Avengers movies.
I guess, but it's like, up until this bit, this is his origin now. He is now Spider-Man with responsibility and morals and a goal and a drive, and it's about power, and you know? And then...
You just quote The Rock.
Maybe. And then I'm like, yes! Finally! So...
Yeah, we finally got a final swing.
Yeah. Final thoughts about this film, Dan. We went scene by scene, talked about the best points. Everything we've forgotten, they weren't good enough to remember.
Yeah.
Final
it's probably
thoughts.
my favourite Spider-Man film.
Well, I don't know. I still enjoy Spider-Man 3, and that's not even a joke. But this is the...
I know, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's the best, and it's probably at least top 5 MCU films.
Yeah. Because I have never felt like this while watching a film. I didn't get like this during Endgame, Infinity War, but this... I screamed in the theatre. Everyone screamed in that theatre.
You could tell the hype was real because a UK cinema made noise.
Exactly. And it was great.
Never happened.
We cheered, and it was like, Oh my god! I heard people say, "Oh my god," and I was there with them. I was
Yeah.
like, yes. I was like, yes to that random citizen. Perfect. Oh my god, this film was great, and it had like
Yeah.
a character arc for everyone, or at least showed everyone's emotion, like emotionally. Great villains. Everyone who has come back to this franchise did it perfectly. Obviously, there's
And they all
little,
snapped right back into
yeah.
character.
Obviously, there's little things like why is Sandman there? He doesn't need to be there. Neither does Lizard. Some inconsistencies with how the magic worked and
They
everything.
were just
But at the
Lizard
end
and
of the
Sandman
day,
were literally there just to round out the numbers. I think.
exactly. But at the end of the day, doesn't fucking matter. This film
No.
was great.
Beautiful.
It was a
Let's talk
beautiful
about
movie. Okay, Venom. Eddie Brock, obviously there. End of Venom 2. And then he's like, no, never mind, not here. I don't care about the whole Venom humor. I've never found it funny. But then I screamed when there was a little mini piece of a little symbiote. Because that's what I've been asking for so long. I want a good villain team and Venom. And I don't want... Yeah, and people are like, yeah, but you get Venom in Sony. Like you did, Dan. Shut the fuck up. You said he should stay in the MCU. No, he shouldn't. Leave the
But look,
symbiote here.
I think he should have, because like now you've done like a whole plot point, and then just for no reason.
Yeah, but it's like that's the thing. It's not a plot point.
Could have
It was an end credit
post
scene.
credit scenes plot point.
No,
It's a
that's
whole
an end
story
credit
done between
scene.
2 post credit scenes.
Good. I'm glad. And then it does it
would've-
perfectly.
I would have preferred it if Venom 2 had a post credit scene set in a Venom 3,
No.
and then because that is happening.
Yeah.
The post credit scene for this one, the symbiote coming to Earth.
No. I'm happy
been-
with this. It is here now.
But
Because now we're
I
either
wouldn't
going
have
to
had to
get...
spend money on Tom Hardy.
Yeah. But now we could get Tom Holland Black Suit Spider-Man. That's going to be great. You know? That's going to be fun.
I think they're gonna bring some Tom Holland.
No, I'm glad that like there's a small piece of the symbiote. And I don't want it to have Venom's personality, and I also said this to you that it could just be a seed of Venom. Like not Venom, but anyone else. I'm just like anyone
Which
could
Venom do you
get
think
it.
they're gonna use? Which are they gonna do Flash Thompson Venom? Are they gonna do Eddie Brock Venom?
Exactly. They could go all the way back and do Peter Parker like Venom character, you know? And that would be fun. That could be cool.
I reckon they're gonna do another dance scene down the street in Spider-Man 4.
If they don't at least allude to it, I won't
He
be
backhands
happy.
MJ, but she has no memory of him, so it just looks like he's walked in and smacked a woman.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because Venom's just made his anger come up. Bam! But, oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be so good.
Spider-Man
Because
4,
now
what do you want from it? Now that we've seen bits of it.
I want Black Suit Venom and I want Ned Leeds Hobgoblin. There you go. Simple. Done.
I want new side characters.
Yeah, I need a bit of Harry and I need a bit of Gwen, but he's heard both of those names now. So it'll be funny if he gets introduced to them, you know?
He's like Gwen Stacy has flashbacks to Andrew Garfield.
'Cause,
Harry
like-
Osborn has flashbacks to Norman Osborn.
Exactly. And it's just like, Oscorp doesn't even exist in the MCU. You know? So I'm like, great. Perfect. So it's going to be funny when they first meet, but yes, we need new side characters. You know what would be really interesting? A film without any. A Spider-Man film without side characters. That's just him being a loner in, like, college. And then all the
His
rest...
best friend's the guy asking for rent.
That, yeah, sure, whatever. But then it's like the villain is what's being set up. Because I want one film where it's not connected to this trilogy at all. You know? And you just do something like unique or fun, whatever. And then the next film you could do a Venom or a Hobgoblin or Vulture coming back with Scorpion and stuff, you know? That would be
See
great.
the next, they're gonna do a trilogy.
Yeah.
I can see it being a perfect chance to, like, have some, like, very minor Spider-Man villains coming for just brief fights.
Do you know what I would love? If, like, it sets up 1,000 villains in one go. You know? Like, in his college thing, he gets an internship at a lab. and the two scientists there are Octavius and Connors, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's just,
I don't think they should do those characters.
no, that's what I'm saying. Just put them there. You don't have to make them
Yeah.
a villain, but put them there. And you can leave them. You could do like Sam Raimi did with the lizard. He's there. And
He's
he
just
can,
Kirk Connors.
yeah, and it makes so much sense. It's like, that's genius level stuff, you know? So it's like, oh, we need a villain, or we want to set up the Sinister
Just an
Six.
Easter egg.
Exactly, or we want to set up the Sinister Six. And then it's like, oh, who could be the leader? It's like, boom. Or it could be funny if Tom Holland tries to prevent those things, you know?
And it accidentally causes them.
Or he just prevents them, you know? Just from him being a good person, he's learned from his mistakes in the past. And he's stopped being naive to the point where he's being a true hero to people, you know?
Yeah.
That would be great. Like, imagine Connors is his teacher, yeah? And then he learns about him dealing with Lizard thing, and he just sits him down normally and has a conversation and persuades him out of it. And that's like a mini subplot, you know? That'd be beautiful. I'd love that. But then, I need a bit of Venom. I need MCU Venom now.
Yeah. That's either 4 or 5.
Exactly. And then you've set up
They are
Ned
working on
Leeds.
4, so.
Yeah. Which is good. I'm now excited to see the next Spider-Man film, because I wasn't.
Yeah.
Before this, Tom Holland's Spider-Man didn't interest me at all. I didn't care when he turned
No,
up in Civil
definitely.
War. But then now this, I'm like, ooh, now I'm intrigued.
Last time I did care about Tom Holland Spider-Man was when he showed up in Civil War.
Yeah. But now I'm intrigued.
So I was glad to see Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yeah. And now I'm happy to see Venom in the MCU. Let's go.
But not Tom Hardy.
Good. And stay away from that
Let's
universe's Flash Thompson as well. Don't go near him. He's a little pussy. Unless he puts on 142 pounds of pure muscle, don't go on him.
You see an interview with him and he shows up jacked. Like, I didn't do this for Spider-Man 4.
Yeah. It's like, you did it for Spider-Man 4, and I know you did, you little silly goose. Oh. So exactly. So that can be the final point we can end on. We are excited for the next one. This film was great. I'm going to go watch it next week. True story.
Are you
And
actually
God.
who are you going with?
That's your business. I'm not going to say I'm recording.
This after.
We'll talk about this
But
after.
I can't say anything. I think I'm going to get next week, but
Exactly. Everyone who's watching this, go watch it again. And I want to see the box office of this film. It's going to be
it's
interesting.
already. I seen it. It is already for an opening weekend. It's the 3rd highest grossing movie.
Exactly. Because it's
behind, I think, Endgame
beautiful.
and Star Wars.
Yeah. Good. It's beautiful.
It beat Infinity War.
Yeah, fucking Infinity War. So, everyone at home, I'm not even going to ask for you to comment away how you know, how you like the film, because we all know you like the film. Everyone likes this film. No one hates it. So everyone, just shut up.
Wait a few years.
Wait a few years, and I'll be cynical about it. Don't worry. But we're not talking about future me. We're talking about now me. And I love this Marvel film for once.
To a retrospective in 3 years.
Exactly. I love a Marvel film for once. I'm not indifferent on it. I don't think it's bland. It is. I don't just not care. Like the Hawkeye show right now. Not gonna lie. Future review. Love this film. So everyone watching at home, go watch it again. And goodbye.